right, so the Africa International Film Festival, AfriFF, continued in Lagos with day 2, focused on innovation, collaboration, and the growing global influence of African storytelling. Now, the day also marked the official opening of the AfriFF Content and Film Market, a platform designed to connect filmmakers, distributors, and investors across the continent. Now, panel discussions explored key industry themes from international co-productions and film financing to the dynamic role of Afrobeat in shaping Nollywood narratives, with a special appearance by a global superstar and recording artist, that is Davido. Now, my co-host, Dashita Atigari, was there to send this report.
It was an energetic start to the second day of the Africa International Film Festival, with the official opening of the Content and Film Market, bringing together filmmakers, investors, distributors, and creative entrepreneurs from across the continent and beyond.
We are open for business.
On the sidelines of that, panel sessions explored this year's theme, Rhythms of the Continent, the Afrobeat movement as it relates to the Nigerian film industry. The day wrapped on a high note with 2 music-centered sessions, the latter featuring Afrobeat heavyweight Davido, alongside his manager Asa Asika, Dami Twitch, and Blessing Uzi.
When I did the Skelewu then, and in the movie Queen of Katwe, the song was in the movie. It wasn't it? Yeah, the song was actually in the movie, my song Skelewu, and just seeing that play out just took me to another realm of just imagination, knowing how music and film, correlate together. And then when you add the African part of things, the cultural reset, how you can listen to music and obviously, build a storyline from it. Like that's what, we've been trying to do as well. So as people are writing movies, also in the studio as well, creating, so bringing everything together, I feel like that's what's about to happen.
Afrobeat is no longer like a flash in the pan where it's like you have an Oliver Twist moment or you have a Fused ODG moment. Like everybody, like worldwide, you wake up and like Afrobeat is in the conversation. So it's no longer a thing of us like, oh, we use like an entire here based on this guy. Like people are waking up and saying, oh, I want Davido at this, I want Umale at this. And movie could be at the same place. I think the mistakes we made with music, we shouldn't make with movie. And then controlling the narrative and just taking lead from the beginning. Like I keep saying, we're no longer guests in this thing.
We always try and tell stories through every little means we can, because this is cinematography coming into work now, right? Cinematography telling the emotion of things without dialogue. And most times, even if we can impute dialogue in these things, we don't have a lot of time. So always trying to make. There was a world where people made a lot of silent films, right? So imagine music videos are really silent films, because like the characters can't talk most of the time, but you always have to try and tell a story out of it.
From powerful partnerships to the pulse of Afrobeats, Day 2 of AfriFF celebrated the business, the beat, and the brilliance of African storytelling, tracing the evolution of Afrobeats from Lagos to the world and its influence on modern African cinema, soundtracks, and cultural identity. Sheiton Atigarin, Arise News, Lagos.
Okay, so joining me live for more on the 14th edition of Africa International Film Festival is Sheiton Atigari, my other half on Arise 360. When I say other half, I mean my colleague. All right, so
they've been dragging you.
Yes, they've been dragging me. Like they should calm down.
You are.
It's all love.
What can I say? We're two sides to a coin. The entertainment and culture coin of Arise.
Exactly.
But of course, we're still here at the African International Film Festival, holding it down for Arise 360.
All right, so now let's get straight to listen to the panel session on yesterday, that's day 2. Having the video and the other panelists talk about Afrobeat reshaping Nollywood narratives. What was the key takeaway for you from that panel session? After listening to all of them give their own submissions.
Yeah, it was
Honestly, I think it was really about the looking at what Afrobeat has done right and trying to see how we can reflect that or at least mirror that in Nollywood. Of course, it's not the same thing. We were able to look at the differences. Of course, technology for one, how people take in music, for example. With music, you don't need to understand what's being said. You can get it on Spotify, you can get it on Apple Music. There's so many platforms, Audiomack, where you can get this. But with film and TV, it's a bit different because you have to think about acquisition, you have to think about distribution. But what I love about it is the fact that we're now actually having a synergy between these two very different but still very important sectors within the entertainment industry, talking about Nollywood, the movie industry, and of course, when it comes to Afrobeat, the music industry. So it was very interesting to hear from David himself, Davido, who was there, Adeleke, to hear from Asa Asika, his manager, to hear from Dami Twitch, of course, who is a very renowned creative as well, and of course, Blessing Uzi. And it was, I think when I think about the conversations that we had after, because what happens is once the panel is over, then you start to have all these side chats and, like they say, on the sidelines of AfriFF this year, that's where the real deals are going down. At the end of the panel session, it's interesting to see David Oyelowo, step up and say, you know what, we have two superstar Davids in the house. What can we do? How do we bridge the gap between music and film and television, as it were?
Okay, so I like the fact that you're talking about music and in Nollywood, collaborating. But do you feel like, having music stars and of course alongside filmmakers, do you feel like musicians and Nollywood can, should I say that connection can lead to like a royalty system where the musicians can make a lot of money off Nollywood movies? I know these days we have a lot of, soundtracks, but if you check the production, it's more of the beats, the producers that do the soundtracks. But we hardly see, a lot of artists, gaining from that particular sector. But do you feel like that connection can, create that system where musicians can actually earn off our movies?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question that you've raised there, Kena, because it's something that was brought up yesterday in conversation. I think it's definitely going to come up again, because what happens with songs is it really has to do with the licensing, who actually has the rights to the song. In fact, there was someone in the audience that called Davido out and said, I tried to use your song in my movie, but I wasn't able to use it. And he had to actually reply to the person and say, it wasn't actually my song. I believe it's a song that I think is the one he has with CK. And he had to explain to the person that, yeah, I might be on the song, doesn't necessarily mean I have the rights to it. And depending on who the publisher, who the recording, the overall recording head is it Sony, is it Empire? It depends on the deal that artist has, for that particular song. But then it also led to a conversation about having more original soundtracks in movies. We've had, people do that. I know we had Wale Ojo on the show the other day for his new movie coming out called This Is Not a Nollywood Movie. And he spoke about the fact that all the songs on there were recorded and, recorded for the movie. I know someone like Basketmouth has done it in his last movie where he recorded an entire album for it. So there's now that conversation about, okay, how about also allowing these filmmakers to be able to produce their own soundtracks? And then the conversation about, getting these big stars to now record these songs. It really is about relationships. It's about what works out for both parties. Somebody said something very funny yesterday. They said, we have situations where they call someone like a Burna Boy now who has done a soundtrack for F1. Now, I don't know exactly how much he was paid, but between me and you, we know that Burna is not going to collect small money for something like that. And we look at maybe a movie that was made, a soundtrack made for what? Let's say $100,000, for example. How many Nigerian movies, how many Nollywood movies actually have that budget? $100,000 in Nollywood can actually maybe create probably even 4 or 5 movies. So there's that conversation about that synergy between music and film. And hopefully by the time this AfriFF is done, we're seeing more of a solution as opposed to just conversation.
I like the fact that you highlighted Burna Boy making money off F1. Is it too late for both of us to have like some sort of group, maybe Bonnie and Clyde, I don't know, but whatever the name would decide to go, to make money off this music business? No, calm down.
Yeah. See, I'm already testing my...
Hey, respect yourself. Thank you. All right, so, it's day 3. What should we expect today?
Oh, okay. So as we wrap up, I mean, today has been very interesting. There's been conversation around, business, licensing and synchronization, the business of music in film. There was a panel on, forging German-African film production partnerships. Yesterday, there was, I think there was Francophone and, of course, Lusophone. And then as well, there was a panel on how the proof is in the impact, how these African stories are rewriting the rules, the big screen effects, frames of influence. But most important, I won't say most importantly, no, I wouldn't say that because all the panels are important. But I think the highlight of today, which is always saved for last, like we had Davido yesterday, but today we're having the second David Oyelowo. He's going to be doing a panel that's going to be moderated by, of course, superstar actor Deyemi Okolawon, and they're just going to be touching on the global pathways for African actors. So I love the fact that this panel has two actors. One, of course, British descent David Oyelowo, who is now bridging that gap, and Deyemi Okolawon, who we of course know is one of our Nollywood giants right now, producing amazing films. So it's going to be an interesting day here. It's already been one. It's going to be wrapping up soon. But that's the highlight for today, honestly.
All right, thank you so much. Now, David on day 2, David on day 3. Goliath is in trouble. But yes, thank you so much, Jade. I'll see you later on in the studio, okay?
Thank you, Kida.